I'm Doug Doyle with the art of the story from the WBGO Archive. Growing up in Pittsburgh, where there wasn't an NBA franchise, I quickly became a fan of the New York Knicks. I would imitate all the team stars downstairs in my basement, playing Nerf basketball and watching them win it all on television.
Knicks running the clock. Earl Monroe, bucket here, it's over. Chamberlain blocked it. Goaltending called on Chamberlain, and the New York Knicks have won this basketball game, and they have won the NBA championship.
One of the stars of the Knicks that season was the great Earl the Pearl Monroe. He was a guest on my podcast SportsJam back in 2013, where we talked about his amazing career, his book, and his close relationship to jazz legend Miles Davis. In Bill Bradley's foreword in your book, he makes a mention that you were like a great jazz artist, and the fact that you created in the moment. And you mentioned that you're a fan of R&B, you're a fan of all kinds of music, in fact, but you mentioned jazz a lot, and you mentioned Miles Davis a lot. You were like a jazz artist on the basketball court, weren't you?
Yeah, I guess you can say that. It's improv. And as I said, you might have it in your mind of what you might want to do, but, it's like, you have to feed off of what the other person does to do what you're going to do. So if I'm going left and he's going left, then I'm just faking going left. I'm actually going right. So yeah, it's very improvisational, and what's interesting. I'll go. Miles used to call me, and I could never understand what Miles said. Miles will say, "Hey, Pearl," and I say, "Yeah, right, yeah," you know what I mean? And when I just got finished talking about the next year I had to get the bone spur operation. Well, Miles had gotten a hip operation, and he had this orthopedic bed. So he's calling me all the time, and all I could understand bed, but that's all I could understand. 15, 20 years later, I read his autobiography, and it's done by Quincy Troop, who's also my co-writer here. So in the autobiography, I realized that he had his orthopedic bed, and he was calling me to offer me the orthopedic bed, that much later. So when I read this, and I said, well, I'm going to go and try and find Quincy Troop to write my autobiography, and that's what I did.
The music itself of Miles Davis, what was it about his music that kind of meshed in with all the other kind of genres of music that you like?
Well, I think, it's hard to say, I think the thing that I can say is that when you heard Miles, you knew it was him. And that's the way I wanted to play. When you saw me play, you knew it was me.
You can hear the entire SportsJam interview with Earl Monroe at WBGO.org. I'm Doug Doyle, WBGO News.